okay. It's, the wire is coming out. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Your name is
my name is Douglas Hoover.
Douglas.
Yes.
What part of the world are you from?
Well, all of it. I'm part of all of the world. But I was born in California.
I see.
Yes. So,
You know, what I talk about is far from philosophy.
yes, I know. Good. That's good.
I talk about happiness in daily living.
Good. That's what I came for.
I see.
First of all, Bodhi Priya from Ireland says hi.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Yes, I see.
So, I came across you through her.
I see.
And recently, I
Now, what part of, you said you are from?
I'm from California.
California.
But the last 7 years I've been living in Hong Kong.
I see.
Living in Hong Kong.
And are you there retired or you are working there?
Yeah, that's. I was working there for the last 7 years.
I see.
And I recently sold my company.
I see.
And now I'm here to.
You have sold your company in Hong Kong?
Yes,
I
correct,
see, I see.
correct.
I see.
So my question to you is
Yes, but before that,
Yeah.
how long have you been interested in what I talk about?
and what you've talked about?
Yes, how
Probably my whole life.
all your life? I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
So, my first question then, before you ask my first question,
Okay.
all your life, what have you been seeking?
Happiness.
I entirely agree.
Yeah. But the problem with it is that there's this issue of money.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
So, money is a problem.
It's not a problem.
Money is no problem.
No.
Then what are you seeking? You said happiness.
I'm seeking happiness.
Yeah, so.
But in order to live in this world, you have to have money, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. You have to work for money.
Now, wait a minute. You know, some time ago, I think quite a few years ago, there was research done by the professors of the London School of Economics. Not an ordinary professors of the London School of Economics.
Right.
They made a responsible research into the relationship between money and happiness.
And what did they find?
You know what they found?
What?
The article which I remember reading, the heading was, did you know that the Bangladeshis are the happiest people in the world? Heading.
True.
You haven't seen that.
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Did you realize that the Bangladeshis are the happiest people in the world? Do you know where India ranks? 5. Number 5. UK was I think 45th, I'm not sure. And America was 135. A responsible body did the research. So therefore the whole question is, I'm sorry, you said your name was?
Douglas.
Douglas.
Yeah.
Douglas is searching for happiness.
Yes.
So the whole point, therefore, is what is the happiness Douglas is seeking?
Is what?
Is seeking.
Is seeking.
What is the happiness
I see.
which Douglas is seeking?
Right. Right.
See, that is the focal point on which I talk about.
So I guess for me the
So,
issue,
now, that is what I talk about.
Right.
Now, your first question, please.
it's similar. We're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
In a
That's
roundabout
good.
way, but
That's good.
it seems like my whole up until this point in my seeking, there's always been this balance that I'm seeking where I do whatever I do has to have some reward of monetary at the end.
Yeah.
And so how do I balance, how do I find the happiness in the doing and also getting some money to exist in this world and be in happiness? I'm a very happy person, but now I'm realizing now that I don't want to work because I have to work for money. I want to work because I want to love to do whatever it is that I want to do, right? So, so my question is the balance just simply be happy no matter what you're doing?
Wait a minute. My question to you would be, what is the happiness do you think someone below the poverty line, what do you think the happiness he is seeking?
Right.
What is the happiness he is seeking? He is happy. He says, my question to you, my focal question to you, Douglas, is, what does Douglas or anyone like us, by the grace of God, reasonably comfortable in life,
Right.
and who also have the common sense to realize from personal experience that the very basis of daily living is uncertainty.
Is
Uncertainty. Everything is uncertain.
Oh, uncertainty. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And along with that goes the peculiar thing. The basis of life is uncertainty, and yet every human being has always had the total free will to do whatever he or she wanted in any given circumstance. See what I mean?
Yes.
These are the two basic facts of life. Fact number one, I've always had, every human being has had the total free will to do whatever he wanted in any given situation. Legal or illegal, moral or immoral.
Right.
In other words, what I'm saying is,
Yes.
someone like you and me has always had free will. Every psychopath in any part of the world at any time also has had the same free will. Fact number one, every human being has had total free will to do whatever he wanted in a given situation. Fact number two, no one ever had any control over the result of his actions. Part of the basic uncertainty of life. Fact number one, I've always had total free will. Fact number two, nobody ever had any control over the result of his actions. Both basic facts about which no one can do anything. So whatever we talk, whatever we think, whatever we want, whatever we are trying to get is based on these two basic facts. So if these two basic facts, what is the conclusion you come to? The undeniable, the only conclusion you can come to is that the human being does have total free will to do whatever he wants to do. But that free will is worthless in practice. Isn't that the conclusion? And what is everybody's experience? Everybody's daily experience is he does whatever he felt like doing in any given situation. And everybody's experience is one of three things has happened. Everybody's experience from beginning of time has been he's just done whatever he felt like doing. Thereafter, no one ever had any control over the result of his action. And what is everybody's experience? Everybody. Sometimes I've got what I wanted, sometimes I've not got what I wanted, over which nobody ever had any control. And sometimes what I got was beyond expectation. Many times for the worse, sometimes for the better. See what I mean? Which of the three things happened? No human being ever had any control. In fact, even if God took human birth, as that human being, even God wouldn't have any better control over the result of his action. And thereafter what happened? Again, everybody is experienced. The society in which I lived could never know what I had just done in a given situation. So all that the society had ever been able to do at any time, anywhere, is to consider what has happened as my action. In other words, I've just done whatever I felt like doing. One of three things will happen, and over which I have no control. And that which happens, over which I have no control, is what the society will consider as my action. Judge it as good or bad, according to existing social regulations and legal provisions. Decide that the action is good or bad, reward me or punish me. A reward from the society has meant pleasure in the moment. Punishment from the society has meant pain in the moment. And I've just described to you, I've analyzed the daily living of the human being from time immemorial. In other words, the human being is free to do what he wants, but no one has ever had any control over what he has done. Will bring pleasure or pain. See?
Yeah.
That is the basic uncertainty of life, over which no one has any control. I repeat, every human being has had total free will to do anything, but whether what he has done, whatever his intention, whatever his intention, whether it will bring him pleasure or pain, has never ever been in his control. You have never thought on these lines, have you?
It's it's not necessarily something I can intellectualize. I can feel it, but I understand the truth in it.
That is my point. That is my point.
Yeah.
That enough to feel the truth in it. Nobody has thought about it.
Yeah.
But this is a fact of life. See what I mean?
Yeah. I've never looked at it that way.
So, in this my focal question, so what does someone like Douglas or Ramesh or Gabriel, who is reasonably comfortable in life, for which he has to be grateful to God or the source, and who also knows from practical experience that he has no control over what the next moment will bring, as a result of whatever he has done or someone else has done. No one has any control over the total amount of pleasure I'm supposed to experience in my life and the total amount of pain I'm supposed to experience in my life. And my concept is that is predetermined. One of my basic concepts is how much pain, how much pleasure every human being is supposed to experience in life is already predetermined. That's one of my basic concepts.
Wow.
In other words,
Through what? Through destiny, through
the
fate?
movie of life, the movie of life
I see what you're saying. Okay.
is already in the can. And we are watching the movie frame by frame by frame, whereas the whole movie is already there. We can never know what is going to happen at what time to whom. In these circumstances, my focal question, what does Douglas or anyone like us want most as happiness? See my point?
Yeah.
This is the point. I dare not ask this question to someone below the poverty line. You know why? He'll say, Ramesh, are you crazy? You are asking me. I'm not a greedy person. All the happiness I want is to have enough money for my basic needs, mine and my family. Food, clothing and shelter, that is all. You see? So now I'm talking to someone who has or he is already or risen from that level to a level where he is reasonably comfortable in life. What is the happiness he wants? That's really your case, isn't it?
Yes.
What is the happiness Douglas has been seeking?
Yeah.
And from what you have said, you have confessed, you don't know.
Right.
That is what you want to know.
Oh, it's not that it's. I think that movie is going to just unfold naturally. What I think I've come up against was maybe I didn't want to be working.
Wait a minute, shall I tell you what you have come up against?
What's that?
You have come up against the basic fact of life that you have no control over what the next moment is going to bring, pleasure and pain, and Douglas doesn't like it. Tell me, am I right or am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're right there. I accept whatever happens. I accept whatever happens, pleasure or pain.
Then what is Douglas complaining about?
He's not complaining, he's just wondering. Okay.
Wondering, okay. You're not complaining. You're
Well, I mean,
wondering.
I would love to just pick up a flute and go travel through the world and do whatever I want, but it requires money.
So supposing you had money to travel all around the world,
Right.
any number of times,
Right?
then would Douglas be happy? If Douglas had enough money,
Right.
from your own point of view, to
Right.
travel all over the
Right.
world any
Right.
number of times,
Right.
with one girl or two girls, any number of girls.
No, it's not like that. It's more about
So he has that money,
right.
and Douglas thinks that will make him happy. See what I mean?
I do.
Therefore, my starting point, Douglas, is something over which I've never thought about. My starting point is someone like us has to come from his own experience to the state where he has accepted most important conclusion to come to before facing this question. Someone like me, what do I want most is happiness. Even to be able to face that question, someone like us has to come to that situation where he puts the question to himself, which is, I know what pleasure is. I know that many pleasures which I have not experienced, which I have told you now. Even if I experience all the pleasures available to me in the world, I would still be seeking happiness.
Which is available to you right now.
Yes. That's why I make bold to talk to you. I make bold to talk to you, not parroting someone else's opinion, but my own happening in my own personal experience. And what is the experience? I've told you, like you. What does Ramesh, by God's grace, reasonably comfortable in life, who also knows from his personal experience that he has enjoyed, even if he has enjoyed all the pleasures in life, he knows what pleasure is. It's only a question of extent or the intent. The depth of the pleasure or the extension of the pleasure. But it is pleasure. And Ramesh knows what pleasure is, and yet Ramesh is seeking happiness. See, the most important conclusion I came to, therefore the conclusion I came to was, and that is not the conclusion, but that conclusion is the basis of my further research. That conclusion is the basis of my further research into personal happiness. And that final conclusion, most important conclusion, is I know what pleasure is and yet I am seeking happiness. Therefore, I repeat, the most important conclusion has been, as far as I am concerned, the happiness I am seeking has nothing at all to do with the pleasure in life. See what I mean? The happiness I am seeking has nothing to do with the pleasure in life. What is more, therefore, the happiness I am seeking has nothing to do with life at all. The happiness I am seeking has nothing to do with the happening of life, with the flow of life. Because the flow of life, the happening of life can only mean pleasure or pain, pleasure or pain. Immediately in the moment, or the total pain and pleasure I am supposed to experience. That also I have no idea. Nobody can have any idea whether the next moment will bring pleasure or pain. No one can know the total amount of pleasure and pain he is supposed to experience in life. The basis of this life is uncertainty. So in these circumstances, what is the happiness I am seeking? The most important conclusion, the happiness I am seeking is not to be found in the flow of life. Flow of life can only mean pleasure or pain, which I know, both. Therefore, the most important conclusion, the happiness I am seeking depends not on anything happening in the flow of life, but in my attitude to what happens in the flow of life. And therefore, my happiness depends on my attitude towards what happens in the flow of life. Therefore, the happiness I am seeking is my own subjective, personal experience. The newborn baby seeks its mother's breast intuitively. What is the newborn baby seeking? Happiness. Happiness for the newborn baby means mother's milk. The baby grows into a school-going young man. And the schoolboy, for the schoolboy, happiness means love from the parents at home. So someone in modern day who finds his parents always quarreling, that boy can never be happy. So for the schoolboy, it means happiness at home, success in the classroom, success in the playing field. See? That's all happiness for he doesn't. The rest of it, you talk to him and say, you keep it, I'm going to have a game of cricket. Not interested. Then the boy grows into an adult, and then the adult says, oh, life is so wonderful, so many pleasures in life. And so the average adult pursues pleasures with the mistaken notion that he is pursuing happiness. And among those, very few people like us, by God's grace, God's favorites I say, they have some chosen few face this question. What is the happiness I am seeking? Therefore, they stop pursuing pleasures. Now I know what pleasure, I am still seeking happiness. So, those few people have to come to this conclusion. The happiness I am seeking is to be found not in the flow of life, but in my attitude to what happens in life. I repeat, the most important. So, unless someone comes to that conclusion from his own experience, he cannot be the seeker of happiness that I am talking to. See what I mean? Therefore, if you say, in other words, Ramesh, what you are saying is, your teaching is not meant for the Man on the street, I entirely agree with you. Man in the street, God is concerned with him, not me.
Right.
I'm concerned with my happiness in this life.
In this moment.
But not really. In this life, not
this
just
life.
in this moment.
Okay. In
Not
this life.
just in this
life.
for the rest of my life.
Okay.
And the biggest uncertainty, I don't know whether my life means one more day or 50 more years. Another part of the uncertainty. So, the most important conclusion I repeat, my happiness depends on my attitude to life and not what happens in life. Then my really big question came to almost a dead wall. My attitude to life is a vague question. What do I really mean when I say my attitude to life? Too vague a question. I can't take the next step unless I know precisely what I mean by my attitude to life. Big. Took me a long time, a lot of thinking, a lot of misery to come to the conclusion that my attitude to life can only mean my attitude towards the other. Daily living, morning till night, means nothing but my relationship with the other, me and the other. Morning till night. The other may be my parent, or wife or son, or a close relative, or a neighbor, someone connected with my business or occupation, or a total stranger. So the basis of daily living is relationship with the other. The other may be the closest relative or the farthest stranger. See? Therefore, my happiness depends on my relationship with the other, whoever the other is, closest relative or the farthest stranger. That's the conclusion. From there, the next step was quite easy. What has been my relationship with the other, whoever the other is, so far in life, which has brought me not happiness but unhappiness. See what I mean? I'm still seeking happiness, therefore I have not got happiness. On the contrary, when I think about it, what I have got is not happiness, but unhappiness. If it were a loose in between, I may not even have bothered, okay, I'll accept. But no, what drives me to seek happiness? What drives me to seek happiness is my unhappiness at the present moment. What is unhappiness? Suffering. Therefore, what really drives me to seek happiness is the fact that now, at the moment, I'm suffering. There is suffering, unhappiness. So what has been my attitude towards the other so far in life, which has brought me unhappiness and not happiness? Each time I'm going step by step, Douglas, because I'm talking from my own personal experience. Step by step. First, I'm seeking happiness because I know it's nothing to do with pleasure. Then my happiness depends on my attitude to life. My attitude to life, ultimately, when I bottom line is, my attitude to life means my attitude towards the other. My attitude towards the other so far, what has been, so that I can change it. What has been my attitude so far which has brought me unhappiness, so that I can change it. See?
Yeah.
So what do you think? If you arrived at that point, what would Douglas say has been his attitude towards the other? Morning till night, whoever the other is, the closest relative or the farthest stranger. What do you think is your experience, Douglas?
What's that?
What would be your answer?
Well,
What has been Douglas's personal experience about his attitude towards the other so far in life, in his life.
Well,
Whoever the other is.
sometimes the other I've been good to, and sometimes the other I've been bad to. So I guess, you know.
So what is the basis of that sometimes? Look,
Me.
in other words,
It's me.
Wait a minute,
It's me.
what you're saying is, sometimes this, sometimes that.
Yeah.
So sometimes this means sometimes happiness.
Right.
Mostly that,
Yeah.
which means unhappiness and sorrow,
Right.
suffering. Isn't that right?
Right.
So we can forget about the sometimes when you have been happy.
Right.
Let's focus on sometimes where you have not been happy.
Right.
So what has been your attitude towards the other in those times when you were not happy, when it brought suffering?
Yeah.
What has been your attitude towards the other so far which has brought you suffering? The answer is that
Unhappiness within myself.
we are only talking about your being happy or unhappy.
Right. But the point is, if it, what you
Wait a minute,
imparted to me
what is the
was,
focal question?
doesn't matter about them.
No, what is the focal question? I'm not concerned about them, I agree. What has been my attitude towards the other, whoever the other
Right.
is, which has brought me unhappiness and not happiness,
Right.
so that I can now
Change that.
change
No
it,
matter what.
no matter what,
Gotcha.
whoever the other is.
I got it.
And I came to the conclusion that my attitude, which is not so difficult to come to, if I were honest to myself, and I was, I said my attitude towards the other has always been one of suspicion, fear, rivalry.
Jealousy, hate.
You can make it a long list, but the basis is still what I said, fear and rivalry.
Right. Yeah.
Fear that you may do something harm to me, fear that you will take away something from me, and rivalry because you may prevent something I want because you too want it. See? Fear and rivalry. That's the conclusion I came to. My relationship with the other, whoever the other is based on fear and rivalry. How many reports do we not see almost every day? Father has killed the son, a brother has killed the brother over dispute over property. And what is more, that I could see clearly. There is rivalry even among little brothers and sisters. For them, what causes it is not important. But daily living, even little brothers and sisters, I find rivalry among them. And in the subject of psychology, I came to know that there is a technical word for it. Sibling rivalry. Rivalry between brothers and sisters, which is supposed to exist as part of daily living, human nature. So, believe me, this is a fact. Douglas, I came to the conclusion that if there is fear and rivalry, even among little brothers and sisters,
There's certain things. Fear and rivalry.
is it
among-
not part of the human behavior?
Yeah.
Is it not part of human nature? Therefore, I came to the conclusion, Douglas, that it is stupid to seek happiness. God does not want me to be happy. That is why God has created my nature such that among all human beings there is rivalry and fear of one another, to add to the basic fact that the basis of life is uncertainty. I cannot know what the next moment will bring me, pleasure or pain. I cannot know the total amount of pleasure and pain I'm supposed to experience in my life. And I cannot live my life without fearing the other and treating the other as a rival. The only conclusion I came to is, stupid to seek happiness. Happiness consists in accepting whatever life has brought me so far and not wanting anything more. Therefore, honestly, I came to the conclusion, God does not want me or any human being to be happy. God wants us to be unhappy. In other words, daily living is imprisonment. We have been sentenced for life imprisonment. Forced to live our life, we have been forced into life imprisonment for life. So in this imprisonment for life, my question still remains. Daily living is imprisonment, life imprisonment, over which I have no control. Therefore, in living my life as a prisoner, what is the happiness I want? And the answer is the same. The answer I came to it, as a prisoner in life, over which I have no control. The basis of it, in our case, is to pursue more pleasure, less pain. Stupid. You are forced in this life. Therefore, daily living is imprisonment for life. So in this being imprisoned, what is the happiness I want? And the only answer, Douglas, is that I am imprisoned for life. So I have to live my life as a prisoner. And the only thing I can ask is that I have be allowed to live my life as a prisoner with the least suffering. I'm a prisoner. Prisoner can't ask for happiness. So what can a prisoner in life ask for? As little suffering as possible. And what is the suffering the prisoner has to be afraid of? Rigorous imprisonment. Therefore, the imprisoned prisoner of life, all he has to say is, please, I am a prisoner, I can't help it. But please allow me to live my life with as little suffering as possible. So what is the suffering? Rigorous imprisonment. So all that the imprisoned liver of life has to say, allow me to live my life without the suffering of the rigorous imprisonment. So, what will bring rigorous imprisonment to me? If I complain and whine and grumble to the jailer about what a difficult life he has made me, oh, is that right? You think you are suffering? So the jailer will turn your simple imprisonment into rigorous imprisonment, and then you will realize. See what I mean?
Yes.
Therefore, again, the conclusion I came to at that moment, stupid to seek happiness. There is no, impossible. Having genuinely, this is important, Douglas. So I decided to give up my chase for pursuit for happiness, not with a sense of even resignation, of feeling that life is unfair, not as something holding against God, but as a genuine fact of life. So my surrender was totally natural, totally natural, in the greatest of humility, not with resentment. So I said, this is what life is, simple imprisonment. So I said, all I can do is again be grateful to God that I am in a reasonably comfortable situation, whereas there are millions of people suffering. That's it. So when I done that, I repeat, when I given it up spontaneously and without resentment, perhaps for that reason, the answer came to me from outside. From outside means from God. You are wrong, in inverted commas. You are wrong. It has never been my intention for the human being to be unhappy. In fact, I have given happiness as the birthright of the human being. But that happiness is based only on one factor, which the human being has discarded. That is why the human being has chosen to be unhappy. Happiness is the birthright of the human being. In other words, happiness is my nature. But I have discarded that happiness by not accepting the one factor on which it is based. And this factor, the basis of your happiness, is really a joke. It's a cruel joke. That factor is the basis of every religion. Your happiness is based on one factor. And that one factor is the basis of every religion, and yet the human being has discarded it. Inverted commas closed. That's all. So my next step was quite clear. What is the basis of every religion? And so that factor is the basis of every religion. Earlier I had come to the conclusion. I thought about it. And I said there cannot be one single, to my question was, why are there religious wars? Is it not possible for people to come together and have one basis of religion? And my answer was no, otherwise they would have done it. Otherwise we would not have had religious wars for hundreds of years. Wars not only between different religions, but wars between different sectors of the same religion. Therefore I had concluded there cannot be one single basis for all religions. But here comes the answer from God Himself. There is. So my next step was quite clear. What is the basis of every religion? And then I happened to come across 4 words. I repeat, I happened to come across 4 words from the Bible, which I had come across I don't know how many times, many times, and had yet ignored them. The 4 words from the Bible. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Extremely simple. Now it's really funny. Thy will be done. Can anyone give you a message simpler than that? Thy will be done. Nothing can happen unless it is God's will. Simplest of all. Needs no interpretation. And yet, it is very funny. A young lady used to come here. She's deeply interested in this. She and her partner deeply interested in it. So she found that her parents, quite well-to-do, they were on a world tour. So she suggested to them, why not spend a week with me here? So they were here. So the parents were here, Catholic parents. Not one of the modern ones who were not interested in religion. They were deeply interested. They were Catholics. So they were here. And the first time they heard me, they were in a terrible state. Free will for you? They considered this Totally, they were angry with their daughter for suggesting that they come. The mother somehow had a feeling there might be something in it. So they came second day and third day. And the third day, the young lady tells me, look, my father is terribly against you. But he comes with me because he says, I'll be sad if he doesn't come. But my mother, she said, something is happening to her. So she wants to see you without her husband. So can my mother see you without my father, alone for half an hour or so? I said, yes, certainly. So she came with her one afternoon. We talked more about it. And in about 3 or 4 days, she had totally melted into this acceptance of this love. But the father stood there like a rock. And I was told, there's a club here quite close. And many foreigners go there. So I'm told every day people would meet in the club and the group would form itself, 5 or 6, trying to convert the father into my philosophy. And you stand there. So when they went back, I'll tell you the joke, when they went back, the father sent a book to the daughter suggesting that she give it to me. That book, The Will of God, written by someone high up in the Catholic Church. The Will of God. And right across the front page, 650,000 copies sold. That means at least 1 million people must have read it. 1 million people must have read it because they must have felt the will of God, something which has bothered me. So what the book says, the will of God appears simple, but it is not. It needs to be studied. He doesn't say, but he means it. I have studied it, let me give you the benefit of my study. And what is my study? He said, the will of God is to be studied, has 3 aspects. Not simple, thy will be done, nothing can happen and this is God's will. No. 3 aspects. First, there is the intentional will of God. According to the intentional will of God, Adolf Hitler was not supposed to be born at all. According to the intentional will of God, people like Adolf Hitler and Osama bin, no. They were born because of the circumstantial will of God. Finally, there is the ultimate will of God. So, Adolf Hitler because of the circumstantial will of God. So the ultimate will of God, when the Nazis had the whole Europe under their domination. In spite of that, the Nazis crumbled, Adolf Hitler shot himself dead. That is when the ultimate will of God prevailed. So my immediate question was, you mean to say God didn't have control over the 2 other aspects of His will? That kind of a thing. And my point I'm making, Douglas, is 1 million or 2 million people felt the need of something like this to hang on to. They needed it because they really never believed it. They never believed it. Thy will be done. And I'm told Islam says the same thing. And the Hindu religion says the same thing, more powerful way. The Hindu religion says, Bible says, thy will be done. Hindu religion says, thou art the doer and thou art the experiencer. Thou art the speaker, thou art the listener. See? Incredible. But the explanation is, it appears as if Ramesh speaks, Douglas listens. Gabriel speaks, Ramesh listens. But if all three were in deep sleep or sedated into unconsciousness, none of them would be able to speak or listen or do anything. Therefore, who does anything? Consciousness does everything. Consciousness functioning through one body brings out the speaking. Consciousness brings out the listening through another body, mind, organism. Speaking to this, listening to this. Therefore, the one who really functions is consciousness of God. So it is God functioning through 6 billion human body, mind, instruments, and bringing about whatever is supposed to happen according to God's will, and I add cosmic law. So, all religions agree on this. So when I came to that conclusion that there is a basis, then my next question, what do you think of my next question, Douglas? Very simple. Why should it be that almost all people in the world should not be able to accept a simple concept that thy will be done? Nothing can happen unless it is the will of God. The basis of every religion. Why does the average human being find it almost impossible to accept it? It's a fact. So I'm telling you this because I'm telling you my personal experience. Why should it be so difficult for people not to accept that nothing can happen unless it is God's will? And the answer was, when I thought about it, the answer was quite simple. Because it is every single person's experience in daily life. That daily life happens only because the human being has free will. In a given situation, I do what I want to do. I suffer or enjoy because of what I have done. I am responsible for my actions, you the others are responsible for your. That is the basis of daily living. How can I accept that I am not the doer? If I am not the doer, I won't be responsible. How can I live an irresponsible life? In daily living, how can I live an irresponsible life? Impossible. Therefore, I have to live my life responsibly, doing whatever I feel like doing. Where does God come into it? So it is this very birthright of free will for the human being which has prevented him from accepting that his free will is worthless both in theory and practice. He accepts that his free will is the most important thing in his life. Life wouldn't happen unless, which is a fact, the mechanism of daily living cannot happen unless every human being has had total free will to do anything he or she wanted at any time, in any circumstances. Therefore, the very basis of the mechanism of daily living is the human being's free will. Because of that, the human being has not been able to accept the basis of every religion. See? But the fact remains that that is the basis, and that, the answer was, that is the basis more important. That is the basis for my happiness. Basis of my happiness is thy will be done. Nothing can happen unless it is God's will. So from that, the answer, the conclusion I brought was that my earlier one, I had been seeking enlightenment for 40 years, 30-40 years, ended in frustration. Nobody would tell me what enlightenment it is that I was seeking. More important, what will enlightenment do for me for the rest of my life that I didn't have before? No one could tell me. And my earlier guru, I had two gurus, earlier guru, once when I dared to ask him, he was angry. I asked him, these are the two. He looked at me angrily, as if I was insulting him. And then he then he looked around, not too many people, otherwise I probably wouldn't have dared ask him. He looked around and everybody was waiting for the answers. Nobody dared to ask this question, but once the questions were, they were eager for the answers. What is enlightenment that I am supposed to seek? 2, why should I seek enlightenment? What will enlightenment do for me? So when he saw that everybody was waiting for the answer, he cooled down and he gave me an answer. You know what answer? What will enlightenment do for you? You can only know when you are enlightened. Escape route. So, therefore I said, now I know what enlightenment is. At that point, when I came to this, thy will be done, when it really entered my heart, that is the basis of my happiness. To be able to accept totally, thy will be done. Thou art the doer, thou art the experiencer, thou art the speaker, thou art the listener. Totally. So from that I decided, now I can tell you what enlightenment is, according to my concept. Therefore the firm conclusion I came to, was enlightenment has never ever been a certified event. Whereas everybody seeking enlightenment has been given the wrong impression that it is. Nobody has wondered who has certified it, but everybody knows enlightenment has to be there. So my first point, enlightenment has never ever been a certified event. Enlightenment has always been a personal concept. Therefore, according to my own concept of enlightenment, I am enlightened. So what has been my concept? Very clear. My concept, I wrote it down. Everything in the world is happening according to God's will. I added cosmic law. How each happening affects whom in the world, for better or worse. And an event happens. Everything is happening according to God's will, cosmic. How that happening affects whom, in what way? It helps me and hurts you, or helps you and hurts him, is again not according to anyone, according to God's will, cosmic law. Through which person, through which body, mind the happening happens, which the society calls your action, my action, or his action, is again according to God's will, cosmic law. The human being is incapable of doing any deed. That is enlightenment. That is enlightenment. That was clear. My next question to myself, having accepted that totally, what is the happiness have I got? Having accepted this concept of enlightenment, what is the happiness I've got? That from my personal experience was very clear. The happiness I got was the absence of suffering. You see, the happiness I got, I had earlier come to the conclusion without really realizing the depth of it, and that is, happiness is something not concerned with pleasure in life. So if my happiness is not concerned with any pleasure in life, it means the happiness cannot be anything positive. Anything positive can only be pleasure in life. Therefore, from my experience, I realized that the happiness that I had got was the end of suffering. And what was the suffering? Because I thought I was the doer of my action. I was carrying a load of guilt and shame for my actions which have hurt others, and the bigger load of hatred for others who have hurt me. Now if I'm totally, no human being has ever been able to do anything. Therefore, if a happening has happened to me which has hurt someone, it's because it's his destiny to be hurt and God's will for him to be hurt. I'm only an intermediary, three-dimensional object, an instrument through which and he was needed for something to happen. So, what is the happiness I've got? Happiness has been the end of the suffering. What is the suffering? The load of hatred for myself for my action, and the bigger load of hatred for others for their action. That load of hatred just collapsed, no more. And the end of hatred for myself and for the other is the happiness which I translated as peace of mind. And you know, a real joke, I came to the conclusion, thinking in English about happiness for myself, the ultimate happiness that I've got is happiness through peace of mind. And do you know the big joke? The big joke is, a little while after that, I came to know that for 5,000 years, the classical Sanskrit phrase for this happiness has been literally the same. Happiness through peace of mind. Sanskrit, Sukha Shanti. Literally, Sukha means happiness, Shanti means peace of mind. Isn't it astonishing? The same word, 5,000 years ago, they came to the conclusion that if you are able to accept the only one who can do anything is the reality and none of the appearances. Every human being is an appearance in the manifestation. The total acceptance of this means Sukha Shanti. Okay. I repeat, I pursued enlightenment and ended in frustration. I pursued the selfish object of personal happiness for myself in this life, and I ended up being enlightened. But according to my concept, don't forget, not according to any certified event. The wire is too long.
Here.
The
Here,
wire
here, I
won't
can move.
extend.
Well, let him sit here. That's.
No, Douglas, you sit there because when I talk to him,
Oh, okay.
if any questions arise, you can
Okay.
interrupt.
Okay.
Please, in fact, I hope you do.
Okay.
He's an atomic scientist. He was. He retired now.
Congratulations.
I am nobody now.
And that's
That's
why
even better.
That's why he's so happy. Go
You
ahead.
said about enlightenment
Yes.
is acceptance that I am not a doer. Everything,
But more important,
everything happens
wait a minute.
according to the will of God.
Enlightenment has never ever been a certified event. Most important, enlightenment has never, but everybody talks of enlightenment as if it is a certified event. That's why I make it perfectly clear. When you talk about enlightenment, be sure that there is no such thing as certified enlightenment. It can only be a personal concept. Therefore, if I say I am enlightened according to my concept. But it may be that you don't accept my concept. And that is what happened. Your question will be, you say you are enlightened. Do you still suffer pain in the moment? Yes. Do you still make mistakes for which the society punishes you? Yeah. Do you have any special powers to know whatever goes on anywhere in the world? No. Do you have any special powers of healing? No. Then how can you be enlightened? Isn't that right? How can you be enlightened? Because according to the certified event, you can't be enlightened. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Please.
So this is a concept.
Yeah, it is a
Enlightenment is a concept.
Yes.
And it is a concept which varies from person to person.
Yes.
So there is nothing like an absolute enlightenment.
There is no enlightenment is not a certified event.
Okay. So this concept you gave is one concept you have of enlightenment.
And
that is, I know actually just now you elaborated.
My only concept.
That is the only concept?
I have. Oh, absolutely.
There is no other concept?
Enlightenment for me means everything in the world is happening according to God's will, cosmic law. Through which person, through which body, mind the happening happens, which the society calls your action, my action, his action or her action, is again according to God's will, cosmic law. How each happening affects whom, better or worse, is again according to God's will, cosmic law. The human being is incapable of doing any deed. Total acceptance of this means enlightenment. And what has enlightenment?
So the built-in in this definition or concept of enlightenment is what personally I believe to be God. When I say I have a concept of God, for this definition to work, there should be some concept of God or cosmic law.
Indeed.
And I have to attribute to this entity
yes.
human concept of will.
Yes.
Which is again my own creation.
Yes. On that you are entitled to ask me. I say according to God's will or cosmic law. What is my concept of God? Part of the question is that.
And does
what is, wait a minute, what is my, I said everything happens according to God's will, cosmic law. What is God's will and what is the cosmic law? Based on which the entire world, my happiness depends. According to me, if the atheist has the right to come and tell me, Ramesh, I don't believe in God. An atheist says then, Ramesh, I don't believe in God. What do you think my reaction will be?
That depends on what one means by God.
Therefore,
everybody has a different way of
the
imagination of God.
Therefore, the atheist tells me I don't believe in God. You know what I tell him? I entirely agree with you. I agree with you that God cannot exist as one all-powerful, all-knowing entity as compared to a helpless, worthless entity like you and me. That is what the atheist says. I agree with him. I agree with him that God cannot be an all-powerful, all-knowing entity. Therefore, for me, God is the source. The source, the only reality, the only unmanifest oneness, the only unmanifest singularity, which was forced to become the manifest duality. The unmanifest singularity. The basis of the manifestation is duality, beginning with male and female, and duality of every conceivable kind. Wealth and poverty, saint and psychopath, health and disease, good and evil, every conceivable. Therefore, in life, you cannot expect perfection. You cannot expect truth. You cannot expect happiness in life. So, your question then would be,
No, I
Wait a
want to.
minute. Why
I
should-
want
wait
to
a-
specifically understand.
Okay.
What you mean by one statement you said he is not all powerful or
Entity. No.
Entity.
He is all powerful, yes, but not an entity.
entity, not a thing.
Is not a singular,
Thing.
all powerful singularity. We are helpless entity. God is an all powerful entity. That is what the concept of God is. We are all helpless entities. God is the one all powerful entity.
He is also an entity.
That is the concept of God which everybody has. And with that I agree with the atheists. I don't believe in God.
When you say source, he is the
So
source.
I'll tell you, therefore God I mean as the source, and the source is impersonal consciousness or impersonal energy. Impersonal energy, that is the answer to the question. Why should God have created manifestation at all? Why should there be a manifestation at all? So that people should be unhappy? The answer is, God did not create the manifestation. God was forced to create a manifestation. God as impersonal energy. God as the soul, unmanifest soul, potential throbbing energy, potential energy. And the potential energy, by its very nature of potentiality, was forced to activate itself sometime, otherwise it would have been dead matter. Therefore, potential energy as the soul was forced to activate itself sometime. The Big Bang, fantastic energy, and the entire manifestation, the physicist tells me the entire manifestation is a block. Everything is predetermined. Therefore, the unmanifest oneness as potential energy had to activate itself into manifestation of duality. And when that one Big Bang, the enormous energy, at some time or the other, millions of years later, Satya Yuga, this Yuga, Kali Yuga, but at the end of that, whatever is left will go back into the potential until another Big Bang happens.
So this is again a concept. This is also a concept.
It is a concept, make
Okay.
no mistake.
So I want to know
Yes.
this manifestation taking place, actualization,
Yeah.
from potential to
Yes.
actual.
Yes.
Is this a real or is it human concept, human imagination, human illusion?
It can only be an appearance. It can only be an
It is
appearance.
only an appearance.
The only reality is the unmanifest reality. Everything else has to be an appearance. And
Therefore fictitious.
huh?
Therefore fictitious.
Therefore, not real. Appearance is an appearance. Now, which is fictitious, what I am saying is, I'm gone into it. What do I mean by appearance? I mean by appearance not a hallucination. And your fiction can be hallucination or appearance. Therefore, I wouldn't use the word fictitious, I would say it's an appearance. An appearance is an appearance which can be seen, it's not a hallucination. The original...
It is not
now,
a hallucination
when you,
in
when
the
you,
sense, I am just getting it clear. It is not a hallucination in the sense it is not purely a construct of the mind. But and when you say it is an appearance,
it's an
not a hallucination, it is subject to sense perception.
correct.
That's the only difference.
Quite right.
And but these sense perceptions
Yeah.
are again
Yeah.
interpreted by human beings
Yeah.
by their own
In the mind.
mind.
In the mind.
So finally it boils down to
Hmm?
finally it boils down to
Yeah.
interpretation by the mind and the brain.
Absolutely.
So is there a difference between hallucination and appearance?
Hallucination doesn't exist. Appearance exists. If you go in the sun and your shadow, you say shadow is a hallucination. You can see it. You can move it and the shadow moves.
Okay, let's look at this shadow.
Yeah.
I see a shadow of a body that since eyes have taken that impression of light and lack of light and constructed a concept of shadow.
Quite
Now
right.
the question is
Yeah.
whether this concept of differences in light this thing, is it real or imagination?
Only reality is the source.
Okay. So in what I am trying to drive at Ramesh Mao is that both are imaginations.
Appearances.
Appearances,
Yes.
sense appearances and mental hallucinations or illusions, whatever you might
Yes.
call, they appear to be
Yeah.
finally the constructs of the mind
Yes.
and the brain.
Yes.
Therefore, it is fictitious, not real. This is what I am trying to understand.
I'm still saying that the real has an appearance. The real has a shadow. So the unmanifest real is a manifestation, appearance as manifestation. You stand before a mirror, there is an
Now,
appearance.
let me explain my problem.
Yes.
To me, both of these things appear to be my construct of my mind,
Yes.
thought,
Yes.
concept. The appearance, the interpretation of sense impressions
It's
into
a,
something.
it's a
which is-
projection of
of
what
the
you
mind.
are saying is a projection of the mind. Agreed.
Okay. Both are projections. of the mind.
Agreed.
Now, I am worried about the other aspect of this so-called concept of unmanifest reality.
Yes.
Could also be a construct of the mind.
It is a construct of the mind. It is a construct of the mind. Agreed.
The consciousness, the Atman,
Everything
Brahman,
is
everything
a. Yeah. Therefore,
So
what
there is nothing which.
so what is the
My
truth?
problem is
I'll tell you.
Okay.
What is your problem is what the bloody hell is the truth,
yes.
right?
I want to use that word.
I'm putting it blankly, and my answer is the only bloody truth in this world is that never has been a creation, never has been a creation, never has been a dissolution, never has been a creation. When you are in deep sleep, was there ever a creation? When does a creation arise? When you wake up and there is a mind. Then whatever creation you see is a creation of the mind. Therefore, for me, Ramana Maharshi is the greatest sage in living history. So when he said those words, whatever needs to be said, Ramana Maharshi, whatever needs to be said has been said in one verse in Adi Shankara's Viveka Chudamani, verse number 170. I said, wow, well, what more could he have said? Whatever needs to be said has been said in verse 170 in Viveka Chudamani, done by Adi Shankara. So I got that verse 170, and it's interesting. In case anybody is interested, I'll read out the original. The original verse number 170 in Viveka Chudamani is Swapne Arthashunye Srujati Svashaktya Bhokradi Vishwam Mana Eva Sarvam. In your
That's what I was
dream.
saying.
Yes. In dream, whatever you see as a dream with which you have no connection, Arthashunye Srujati Svashaktya is a projection of the mind. In that, whoever enjoy or enjoyment, anything that you see in your dream state is only a projection of the mind, and you have no connection with what is seen as an enjoyment or enjoyer or suffering, pleasure or pain. tathaiva, similarly, jagratyapi, no visheshas. Therefore, what you see in your waking state as the world, there is no difference. It is the same mind which has projected this
Dream world.
manifestation in this waking dream. No difference. Translation of it is, in the dream state, even though there is no contact with the outside world, the mind alone projects the entire dream universe of enjoyer, enjoyment, and the object of enjoyment. Similarly, the waking state is no different. Similarly, the waking state is no different. All this world of pluralistic phenomena is but a projection of the mind. There never really has ever been a creation. Everything is a projection of the mind.
There is nothing other than projection of mind.
That is the point. Therefore, just as I agree with the atheists to say that there is no God, I agree with whatever you say. Just as I agree with the atheists who say there is no God, I agree with the scientist with what he says. That is all the projection of the mind.
But I want to come to another aspect of this.
Go ahead.
With something sometime long back.
Go ahead.
You were saying that the only reality is the impersonal sense of being present.
Or energy. What your impersonal consciousness
Of being present. That
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
My question was,
Yeah.
is that also a construct of mind?
It is. It is. It is. The consciousness, impersonal consciousness.
Even what Ramana Maharshi calls I, that also is
No, that,
is also a construct of mind.
no, yes. Yes, it is. Who is concerned with I? Who is concerned with the soul? Who wants to know whether there is a soul? Who wants to know what is the soul? The mind. If there was no entity asking this question, an entity with intelligence, who would want to know anything?
Irrespective of the presence or absence of this entity wanting to know the truth, does the truth exist or not?
For whom?
For whom?
For
Just by
whom?
itself.
No, for whom?
For itself. By
For
itself.
whom does it exist or not? If there is no one, for whom can the truth exist?
By
Who
itself
the
it
hell
cannot
will be
exist.
interested in knowing if there is any truth?
By itself cannot it exist?
Huh?
By itself it cannot exist? By itself, for itself? Because there is no other.
So, who will want to know? Only when you are there.
If I am not there, is it right to say there is no reality or truth?
Yes. If you are not there, as it happens at least once in 24 hours, when you are in deep sleep, is there any creation? When you are in deep sleep every 24 hours, is there any creation? More important, is there anyone to worry about creation being true or not?
But in that state, it would be wrong to say that the person sleeping does not exist. Consciousness exists, not existing.
In deep sleep,
Just
it
because
doesn't.
there is no sensation, there is no one to realize. Does the absence of that can be guaranteed?
Who will want to know?
Irrespective of who I am asking. The question is irrespective of the subject or object. Can subject not exist?
Subject-object relation.
Suppose there is no object, only by subject. Cannot subject by itself really exist?
Who is going to challenge me whatever I say?
I am only inquiring, Ramesh. My question of challenge.
The whole point.
I want to really know.
No, yes, I know. The whole point is in this, really the whole point is, in deep sleep, I was not concerned with my happiness.
Deep sleep is
Therefore,
a deep
when
ignorance.
I'm alive and I'm living my daily living, I'm concerned with my happiness in daily living. But when I'm dead, when the body, mind, organism is dead, what happens to Ramesh or Douglas or whoever? That is important. And my answer is, after the body is dead, Ramesh will be in precisely the same state he is every day when he is in deep sleep, not concerned with anything. Therefore, what will happen to Douglas or Ramesh? First of all, what is Douglas or Ramesh? Each is fundamentally two perspectives. What is any individual entity? Two perspectives. One perspective, he can only be a three-dimensional object. Only one three-dimensional object. So there is a body, mind, organism as a three-dimensional object is part of the manifestation. Therefore, who can Douglas or Ramesh be? Only be something connected, nothing but connected with the source. Therefore, each human entity as a separate entity is nothing but one three-dimensional object. The other perspective, the source, impersonal consciousness, identified with each body, mind, organism as a separate entity with a sense of personal doership, as identified consciousness. Therefore, every human being as a separate entity with doership as the ego is identified consciousness. When the body is dead, that particular entity is no longer required for daily living to happen. For that entity, no more interhuman relationship. The ego is no longer necessary, and the identified consciousness again becomes impersonal consciousness. Therefore, I honestly don't have to worry about what happens to Ramesh. Ramesh again becomes the source of God. Therefore, I'm only concerned with my happiness in this life. What happens when I'm dead? Who cares? The identified consciousness again becomes impersonal consciousness. And the real part of it, the real sensible part of it, Douglas here, two rivers join the ocean. Two egos, have become the impersonal consciousness. Two rivers have joined the ocean. Then no more rivers, only the ocean. And the ocean doesn't care a damn whether one river was the purest Ganga or the most impure, horrible thing. Therefore, no ego need worry about he was a good person or a bad person. Because no one can be a good person or a bad person. In both cases, there is a source functioning through one body, mind, organism, so programmed that only bad things will happen. And this has been known as a psychopath. Or the same source functioning through this body, known as a sage, everybody will know, because that body, mind, organism has been programmed, so programmed, genes and conditions, that only good deeds will happen. No individual doer of any deed. So no one need worry about dying a bad man or a good man.
You mentioned about the deep sleep state.
Yeah.
And that is a state of total ignorance.
That's a state of
That is a state of total ignorance.
total
Ignorance.
that
Or
is,
bliss.
no, wait a
That
minute.
is according to...
No, that is a state.
I mean, it has been
I'm
so
waiting.
told.
But that is a state in which the
I
concept,
can quote some.
that is a state in which the question of ignorance and knowledge simply does not arise.
There's nothing. There is nothing.
Therefore, the question of ignorance or simply cannot arise. And that
Nor is it right to say that is a state of peace. Because the concept of peace also is absent.
yes, peace for this reason, that which existed was disturbed when you wake up. That which existed was disturbed when you wake up. So what was it that existed which is shattered when you wake up? Peace of mind. It's a concept again.
It's not a concept again.
It's a concept. Therefore,
But that also brings me to the same question. You said, I don't care what happens to me after death and all that, and what matters to me is my happiness now.
That-
So I am asking whether this concept of happiness now
Yeah.
is again also a construct of my mind.
it is.
And
And so
there is
much-
nothing great about
No,
being happy in this state, in imaginary state.
Quite right. Therefore, don't bother about your happiness.
So the question again
Yeah.
is what these are both constructs of mind, happiness as well as pleasure. Pleasure at least has a basis on senses, whereas happiness, which is, you can say, is not independent of the sense perceptions, is again a mental construct.
Absolutely, no question
so
about
why
it.
is one superior to the other, prefer to the other?
I
Why
should-
should
on the-
happiness be considered superior
I-
to pleasure?
yes, I would also agree. Quite right.
Because that seemed to be the basis of your argument this morning.
For someone who seeks happiness, the most important conclusion here.
I would say both are equally constructs of mind, whether you are reveling in have pleasure or so-called happiness, you are actually living in an imaginary state of mind.
So, is Durganand not concerned with his happiness in this life?
I am worried about this point. Why should I be concerned about something
Don't be
that is a
concerned.
construct of the mind?
Don't be concerned. Who prevents you from not being concerned? What prevents?
Because all conditioning says that is the thing you are to live for. That is the purpose of life. Happiness, to be happy, realized, enlightened, or whatever you call, blah blah blah.
No.
So,
The ultimate
otherwise,
thing, yes, the ultimate thing is
in the absence of all these forces making me think about this, I would not have bothered.
The ultimate thing is not to want anything.
Not to want anything.
Not to want anything, not even happiness.
Right.
That is the ultimate.
But is it not right? This is the definition of happiness by most of the people.
Therefore,
Not wanting anything.
yes, that's the hook. But until you reach that stage, you will still be looking for happiness.
Okay.
Until you reach that stage, and I would say it's possible even to reach that stage. It's possible. You have the pink. You have the.
Oh yeah.
Read the thing
To
aloud.
be
on the back of it.
comfortable in life, to have minimum
The final.
suffering, to accept what happens, all this is only merely a mechanism to be comfortable, not really happy in that sense, which is again a temporary thing, right? You said,
Read that, please, Douglas. Will you read it aloud?
Oh Lord, give me a state of mind.
The ultimate prayer.
The
isn't
final
it?
prayer.
The final prayer.
Final prayer. Oh Lord, give me a state of
Slower,
mind.
slower and
Oh, sorry.
louder.
Okay. Oh Lord, give me a state of mind so filled with your being that I would not need anything from anybody anymore, not even from you.
Not even from you, which is not even happiness from you. That is the ultimate state. That ultimate state is only when the body is there. That ultimate state is only when the body is there, and no longer Durgananda, Ramesh or Douglas.
In the ocean.
so question, $1 million question, how to attain that state? Is it possible?
So wait a minute. What is that state? That state is when there is no Durganand wanting anything. That state is where Durgananda, the one who wants something, is just not there. The identified consciousness as a separate entity, the ego, is just not there.
But is that possible as long as I am living?
No, no.
So then it is
There-
meaningless pursuit.
That is
While
what
I
is a
am living.
meaningless pursuit.
While I am living.
Therefore, the only meaningful pursuit is happiness in this life. The only meaningful pursuit is happiness in this life. Afterwards, who cares? That's my whole point. Therefore, my whole
Even though that happiness is again illusory.
it is based on your personal. Therefore, that happiness is not anything certified as pleasure. Pleasure is certified according, but this happiness has nothing to do with the pleasure. That is the first important thing.
I had a dream, and in part of my dream there was an incredible amount of detail, and I thought, oh wow, so you can, so in my sleep dream, I thought in my sleep dream there is a lot of detail, just as same as in the waking dream, but now I was happy in that dream, but when I woke up, the character that woke up wasn't happy. So the character that was analysing it in the dream, that was happy that he concluded it, was not the same character that woke up. And this is in reference to.
But Gabriel, what are we talking about? We are not talking about a character in the two dreams. That they're both dreams.
Yes, that's
That
what
is
I'm
all.
saying. So whatever I conclude in this dream, it's the dream character concluding it. So it's futile. Do you see what I mean? If I say I am that, the dream character says I am that. It's not pertinent to the real dreamer. So it's absolutely futile.
Yes, agreed.
That was my
Agreed.
statement.
Agreed.
And that evidence came from my sleep dream,
Yeah.
Ramesh. When I concluded something in my dream, I was happy.
Yeah.
When I woke up, this one that woke up wasn't happy. So
Yeah.
I realized what's the point? Doesn't stop me anyway. So that was my.
No, I mean, what is the point of what, Gabriel?
Well,
what is the point of what?
I concluded that if I have the conviction that the whole thing's inside of me and not outside of me, I can be happy. But that's not actually true, because I refers to one character in the dream. So it's illusory. Do you see what I mean?
So if it is illusory, why bother?
Well, that's what I'm saying, Ramesh. The one that's investigating all of this isn't real either. So that's why it's futile. When you say it's a projection of the mind, and I think, yeah, if I can see it's a projection of the mind, I'll be happy. I myself am part of that projection.
You are part of that projection. It's
Yeah,
correct.
so even if I conclude I am that, it's not going to make any difference, because I'm not real myself. Do you see what I mean?
No.
Okay, don't worry. It was just he brought it up, the other
Yes,
fellow.
yes, Paul. Go ahead.
So many things being covered.
Yeah, but now tell me, you have been here now what, about 7-8 days?
That's about right, yes. Right
So,
about it.
is there any difference between your viewpoint, your behavior in life? Has it changed? Ultimately, that's what it comes.
It is exactly what it comes to, yes.
One, has it changed according to your understanding? And if there is a change, has that change been noticed by other people around you?
I can answer number 2 easily, I'm not sure whether it's been noticed. In regard to number 1, the change, if you can call it change, is that through my life,
Change in your attitude to life.
yes, there has been a change in attitude to life.
Because we decided what we are looking for, happiness, it depends on your attitude.
Absolutely.
So has your attitude to life, has your attitude towards the other changed?
Yes.
It has changed.
Yes, because over the years I've got to a place where I was needing confirmation or conviction of my own understanding and my own integrity of my understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. And in this period of time, in fact, probably in the first 2 days, listening to what you were saying, realized the correspondence, limited on my side, corresponded to what you were saying, giving me confirmation and conviction in that I was working with the right stuff, if you want to call it that, and that my understanding of my attitude to life, as we all have an understanding of our own attitude to life, if one examines that, was confirmed to be more or less, and that confirmation actually changed further and was able to entrench my attitude in a beneficial way. Okay. And so very
In other words, now, more and more, Paul feels that he is not the doer of his action.
Absolutely.
More and more he feels that if he is not, the other is not the doer.
Absolutely.
Therefore, more and more, what has been the change, more and more people, Paul has been feeling there is no sense.
There is no sense, exactly.
Feeling that any guilt or shame about anything, nor pride about anything,
Absolutely.
nor hating anybody for anything.
Absolutely. And hence the stillness, and hence
So there has been a substantial shift towards.
it's very, very difficult to get confirmation or conviction.
No. So therefore, you have reached a stage where you have accepted.
Yes.
Intellectually, there is total acceptance,
Total acceptance intellectually.
confirmed by your personal experience.
Yes.
But still, when there will be the total acceptance or not, there is also the acceptance that is not in your control.
Absolutely. But you accept that.
That is the point. So the final acceptance really at any moment is that whether it happens or not has never ever been in Paul's control. Whether it happens or not, that's where what I said today means really important. Now, today what I am telling you is, whether it ultimately happens or not, who cares?
That's
Once the body is dead and Paul is no longer there,
yeah.
Paul has become the source of God.
Yeah.
What does it matter if during Paul's existence the ultimate understanding had happened or not,
Yes. Fantastic. Yes.
or whether the understanding had come midway or nearly total or total? It doesn't have any sense.
Doesn't have any sense.
Therefore, at the moment when you know that you have sufficient acceptance to bring about a certain degree of happiness, you don't bother about wanting to make that acceptance total.
That's
If it happens,
that's
well and
absolute.
good. If it doesn't happen, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. There's a threshold of acceptance, you can call it.
Yeah.
And that is,
In fact, that is the ultimate acceptance.
it is our thing.
The
Exactly.
ultimate acceptance. Whether the total acceptance happens or not, who cares? If it happens, well and good. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Isn't that?
It's perfect. That's
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Ramesh.
Yes.
You said before, I thought it was a bit threatening. You said if the jailer, if you complain and grumble, the jailer makes it worse. Or put you in a worse situation,
Yeah.
and then you can compare, and then
Yeah.
in comparison you'll be
Yeah.
happy. But, I mean,
In this, you are the jailer yourself.
I myself,
You are the jailer.
if that's the case, I should be able to stop the imprisonment.
So you
But
are
I
the
can't,
jailer
so
who
I can't.
says, so you whine and complain and what does it by itself? It brings about more unhappiness. What you did automatically brings in more unhappiness. Not accepting that you are the doer, hatred for yourself. Not accepting hatred for the other, which is precisely what brings on. And that hatred for the others and hatred for yourself is the rigorous imprisonment which you yourself have brought into.
But as you know, you can't help
Even that is not in your
But
agreed.
then to say I'm the jailer doesn't make any sense, because if I was the jailer, I'd stop the imprisonment. I'd release me from the prison, and I can't. Which means, how can I be the jailer?
You are point is, we have forced to live this life. Isn't that right?
Yes.
We are forced to live this life. Therefore, this life is a life imprisonment.
Yes. I'm not the jailer.
Who is the jailer?
I don't know, but it's not me.
Who brings about more unhappiness for Gabriel? Who brings about more sorrow for Gabriel? By believing that he is the doer of his action, responsible for it, and someone else is responsible for his action. That is the jailer, yourself.
Myself, I disagree, Ramesh. I don't think that's correct. You can't, me? I
No,
mean, the
all-
jail has been created by all of us.
All
6
right.
billion of us. You're
Yeah.
just me alone?
No, you are your jailer. Everybody else is his jailer.
No, Ramesh.
well, but
I'm
if-
not my.
If you must blame someone, blame God.
All right, but what I'm saying,
God is the ultimate jailer.
Ramesh, when you point to me as Gabriel, I can't be the jailer, surely. Or you're saying I'm creating my own prison. If I'm creating it, I should be able to stop it. And you agree that I can't stop it. So how can I be creating it?
Life is an imprisonment because you can't get out of this daily living. That is the point.
Yes.
Because you didn't choose to be a human being, but you are forced to be a human being in circumstances over which you have no control. You don't know whether the next moment will bring pleasure or pain. You cannot know the total amount of pleasure and pain you are going. You know nothing. And yet you are forced to live your life in the circumstances in which you have been present, which is something like simple imprisonment,
Which is something like this. Okay.
which you can turn into, which most people do, by wanting something that they can't get.
Yes, which I can't stop. Ramesh, for example, I just wanted to check this. Let's say if I was to do yoga, would you say that was seeking pleasure or happiness? Just to understand this pleasure,
No,
happiness.
it's quite simple. The wanting to do yoga is to improve yourself. You're free to do it.
Yeah, sure, but I just wanted to understand your concepts. Is that seeking pleasure or seeking happiness? Which,
Doesn't matter a damn. Call it self-improvement. And why does anyone want to improve himself? Because he thinks that improvement will make him a happier person.
yes. I mean, if I said to you, I want to seek a casino and gamble, you say that's seeking pleasure. But if I say to you, I want to do yoga, I mean, it's still in the
Whatever anybody does is wanting pleasure.
Okay, even yoga.
Oh yes,
Ah, okay,
indeed.
thank you. No, that's good you
Indeed.
said that. So yoga is actually seeking pleasure, which I accept.
Indeed.
Yeah, okay. Now that's good because you're clarifying.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and
Whatever one seeks in this life is pleasure.
yeah,
Fundamentally, it is happiness.
yes,
The baby seeks his mother's milk for happiness. Until the adult mistakes the pleasures of life for happiness. And he pursues pleasures. Until someone, because of the destiny, realizes that I have been pursuing pleasure, I know what pleasure is, and still I am not happy. Therefore, pursuing pleasure and pursuing happiness are two totally different. That's when the seeker happens.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Any question? No comment?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you dream?
Oh, come please.
Do you actually dream?
Wait a minute. I'll tell you what. Me is an ordinary person.
You as
But wait a minute. That question was answered by someone like Ramana Maharshi. He was not asked whether he dreams. And the question he was asked is, do you ever see dead people? That was the question asked to Ramana Maharshi. Do you ever see dead people? And his answer was, only in my dream. Therefore, even Ramana Maharshi confessed that he does dream.
Okay.
Who am I to say, of course I dream.
Okay. Okay.
Of course I dream.
Okay.
And therefore, those are three abnormal states.
Right.
Waking state, dreaming state, and deep sleep state. Those are the three regular states for everybody.
Okay.
So long as the body is there, all the three states are there. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Adi Rupa, Omkara Swarupa, Vishwachiya Rupa, Maya Bapa. तुझिया सत्ते ने तुझे गुण गाऊ, तेने सुखी राहू सर्व काळा. तूची श्रोता, तूची वक्ता, ज्ञानासी अंजना, सर्व होणे जाणे तुझ्या हाती. तुका म्हणे येथे नाही नीतूपणा, स्तवावे ते कवणा, कवणा लागी. नमो आदि रूपा, ओंकार स्वरूपा, विश्वाचिया रूपा, माय बापा. ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था, ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था. अनाथाच्या नाथा तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो. ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था, अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो. नमो माय बापा गुरु कृपा घना, तोडिया बंधना माया मोहा. नमो माय बापा गुरु कृपा घना, तोडिया बंधना माया मोहा. मोहजाळ माझे कोण निरशील, तुझ वीण दयाळा सद्गुरुराया. तुझ वीण दयाळा सद्गुरुराया. तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो. ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था, अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो, तुझ नमो. सद्गुरुराया माझा आनंद सागर, त्रैलोक्य आधार गुरुराव. त्रैलोक्य आधार गुरुराव, त्रैलोक्य आधार गुरुराव. गुरुराज स्वामी असे स्वयं प्रकाश, त्या पुढे उदास चंद्र रवी. त्या पुढे उदास चंद्र रवी. त्या पुढे उदास चंद्र रवी. रवी शशी अग्नि, नेणति चारूपा स्वप्रकाशरूपा नेणे वेद स्वप्रकाशरूपा नेणे वेद स्वप्रकाशरूपा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो तुझ नमो एका जनार्दनी गुरु परब्रह्मा एका जनार्दनी गुरु परब्रह्मा तयाचे परिणाम सदामुखी तयाचे परिणाम सदामुखी तयाचे परिणाम सदामुखी ओंकार स्वरूपा सद्गुरु समर्था अनाथांच्या नाथा तुझ नमो 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 तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे सगुण निर्गुण एक गोविंदू रे एक गोविंदू रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे अनुमानेना अनुमानेना श्रुतीने नेती म्हणती गोविंदू रे श्रुतीने नेती म्हणती गोविंदू रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ दृश्य म्हणो की अदृश्य रे तुझ दृश्य म्हणो की अदृश्य रे दृश्य अदृश्य एक गोविंदू रे दृश्य अदृश्य एक गोविंदू रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ आकारू म्हणो की निराकारू रे तुझ आकारू म्हणो की निराकारू रे आकारू निराकारू एक गोविंदू रे आकारू निराकारू एक गोविंदू रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ स्थूल म्हणो की सूक्ष्म रे तुझ स्थूल म्हणो की सूक्ष्म रे स्थूल सूक्ष्म एक गोविंदू रे स्थूल सूक्ष्म एक गोविंदू रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे निवृत्ती प्रसादे ज्ञानदेव बोले ज्ञानदेव बोले बाप रखुमा देवी वरू विठ्ठलू रे निवृत्ती प्रसादे ज्ञानदेव बोले बाप रखुमा देवी वरू विठ्ठलू रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझ सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे सगुण निर्गुण एको गोविंदू रे, एको गोविंदू रे तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे तुझा सगुण म्हणो की निर्गुण रे. हे चिदान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरण व्हावा, विसरण व्हावा तुझा विसरण व्हावा. हे चिदान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरण व्हावा, विसरण व्हावा तुझा विसरण व्हावा. गुण गायन आवडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी, माझी सर्व जोडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी. ना लागे मुक्ती धन संपदा, ना लागे मुक्ती धन संपदा. संत संग देई सदा, संत संग देई सदा, संत संग देई सदा. तुका म्हणे, तुका म्हणे गर्भवासी सुखे घालावे आम्हासी, घालावे आम्हासी सुखे घालावे आम्हासी. गुण गायन आवडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी, माझी सर्व जोडी हिची माझी सर्व जोडी. हेची दान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरण व्हावा, विसरण व्हावा तुझा विसरण व्हावा. हेची दान दे ग देवा तुझा विसरण व्हावा, विसरण व्हावा तुझा विसरण व्हावा. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम, तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. देह प्रपंचाचा दास सुखे करो काम, सुखे करो काम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. देहधारी जो जो त्याचे विहित नित्य कर्म, सदाचार सन्मार्गाचा आगळा न धर्म. देहधारी जो जो त्याचे विहित नित्य कर्म, सदाचार सन्मार्गाचा आगळा न धर्म. तुला आवडे ते हाती घडे नित्य कर्म, तुला आवडे ते हाती घडे नित्य कर्म. देह प्रपंचाचा दास सुखे करो काम, सुखे करो काम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. तुझ्या पदी वाहिला मी देह भाव सारा, उडे अंतराळी आत्मा सोडूनी पसारा. तुझ्या पदी वाहिला मी देह भाव सारा, उडे अंतराळी आत्मा सोडूनी पसारा. नाम तुझे घेतो गोरा, नाम तुझे घेतो गोरा होऊनी निष्काम. नाम तुझे घेतो गोरा होऊनी निष्काम. देह प्रपंचाचा दास सुखे करो काम, सुखे करो काम. तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम, तुझे रूप चित्ती राहो मुखी तुझे नाम. पांडुरंग 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 पांडुरंग